What's up? What's up? This your boy Lee Black from Real Talk for Real Men, and I air live on Wednesdays and Saturdays. So I hope you are enjoying the content that I provide and my unique take on all things ratchet and bullshit. But I also am a member of the TFG family, and this is actually going to be a TFG ratchet movie review of Mia Culpa. As promised, I watched this movie over the weekend, and I want to say that I went into it with full expectation of not to judge it too harshly because admittedly I am not necessarily a Tyler Perry fan. Those who know me though know that I'm not a big fan of Tyler Perry's movies. I am a fan of Tyler Perry the man. I love all the things that he does, what he stands for, the opportunities that he provides, but I'm not a big Tyler Perry fan. I've actually done a short review of this on TikTok, so please check that out, and you can even see it again on the Real Talk for Real Men and on the TFG Ratchet. So don't forget to subscribe, hit the notification bell where you can get all of my views on just about anything that comes to my fucking mind. Let's get into it, folks. Watching this movie, I rated it over. No, I'll say my rating for the end. Let me just say that I don't believe this was a movie meant for men, particularly African American men. In true Tyler Perry fashion, it was written to please women. I think he does that better than probably any active current director. He writes for black women. The same way Neo, some of the music producers like Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis or Babyface know how to write music for women in particular, and they write so well. Tyler Perry writes movies for black women better than anybody that I can probably think of. He knows what his audience likes. He knows what they're going to expect, and he doesn't let them down. And if you go out and look at the ratings right now, his movie is the #1 movie in the country, despite critics panning it and not giving it great reviews. So I sit here telling you that as an African American male, it was just okay for me. It wasn't, I didn't find anything just stood out. I went into it hoping wanting to see if Kelly Rowland could actually act. I'm a fan of hers from Destiny's Child. She's always been one of my favorite members of that group. And I wanted to see if she would be able to branch into a new arena and take her talents to the next level and become a threat in the acting realm. It wasn't that she did horrible, but she didn't do anything to stand out. She didn't do anything for me in this movie to make me say in any way that, hey, she can act. Could she get better? Absolutely. She was attractive and stunning, and Tyler Perry made sure that he kept the camera tightly on her face. The way this was filmed, it was in typical Tyler Perry fashion, where you have the close-ups of the main actors and actresses. The location settings was not too much because in interest of saving money, I would imagine they kept that part of it out of it. You could see a little bit of background settings, but a lot of the scenes, it was almost distracting in that the close-ups was right there of the actor's face and the background was blurry. As a director, and he directed this movie as well as wrote and produced it, that was a little bit distracting. I would have liked to have seen a little bit more exploration with the background setting. In fact, if you want to get a more fuller review of the technical aspects of it, right here on TFG channel, the owner, proprietor, the man himself, Mr. Lamar Falk, he gives a brilliant breakdown of the first 15 minutes of this movie, Mia Culpa, and the technical aspects of it. So he knows it and speaks to it to that degree. I'm talking about the movie itself, the ratchet parts of it, that what I caught. But don't forget to check out his views as well. Now, again, I just wish they would have showed a little bit more of the background. The story itself, it was supposed to be a tense thriller. I'm not going to give away any plot details for those who might want to see it, but basically it's a tense thriller where she is a lawyer and he's a murder suspect. And as you would have it, they get into a steamy affair. That is the part where I really feel like that Tyler Perry stood out in terms of bringing that smoldering intenseness to this affair that you knew at some point they was going to fuck. And in true Tyler Perry fashion, he made sure he selected an actor I think that he finds attractive, wink, wink, but he also knows that African American women were going to love Trevante Rhodes from the movie Moonlighting, exciting actor, a hell of a dude to look at. I say this with no homo. He's that dude. He if you want to put chiseled God or whatever, he's that dude. So Tyler Perry made sure that when he took his clothes off and you got to see the fuck scene, you got to see the fuck scene. What I thought was interesting in the movie as well is that he played on some of this the stereotypes that happen within African American communities as well. I don't think it was a coincidence that he made Mia's husband a light-skinned guy, and he made the antagonist, which is Trevante Rhodes, the so-called killer, dark skin. And so, right from the outset, if you're watching this as an African American woman, you kind of get the best of both worlds. For those of who like light skinned men and think they're sexy, oh my God, she's got this type of husband. And then there are the others who think, nothing like a chocolate man, muscle bound. He made them the polar opposites, and he drove a wedge in between and created that tension, and he created the perfect scenery for this to happen. He also delivered when it comes to what African American females come to expect from movies like this. When you think about Waiting to Exhale, probably one of the most memorable scenes is when Angela Bassett's character finally gets her courage to put her deal with her husband's situation and burns all his shit. That was the moment that African American women around the world screamed, "You go, girl." Well, Tyler Perry set this in motion as well. You just knew this was coming by the way he plotted carefully the characterizations, and you just knew that this was leading up to a confrontation for Mia to so-called stand up for herself. Again, I don't want to give away too many plots from this. This is when it truly went off the rails for me, is that in true Tyler Perry fashion, the story tied itself up in a nice, neat bow in the last 20 minutes because it rushed all of the things that was going to bring it to a culmination, and everything that it did, it was truly unbelievable in the truest sense. It was a ridiculous plot in the way it ended, just the shit that happened. So when you, or after you're waiting for this big payoff to happen, oh my God, it was just such a big letdown. And I wish that he had done a lot more with that. Having said that, again, this is not a movie for men, in my opinion. If this is a movie you're sitting down and watching with your woman, it's because she wants you to watch it with her. And again, we didn't get a whole lot by seeing Kelly Rowland. We got to see her in two fuck scenes, one with a light-skinned husband. And again, he drew a contrast between how they fucked versus the steamy sex scene that she had with Trevante Rhodes. The other actors in the film, they were insignificant. You had Shannon Thornton playing a role as her sister-in-law. If you don't know who she is, think about P Valley. She's from P Valley. She's Mississippi. And in P Valley, she did a fantastic job. So I think this was her reward from Tyler Perry and bringing her over here. You also had Ron Rico Lee. He's played in a lot of movies. He's a good, solid actor. And some of the other people, they were just insignificant. Kerry O'Malley, Sean Shagar, and I could go on and on. They didn't do anything to stand out either. There was nobody in this movie that had a standout performance that I would say make sure you give them another role, other than Trevante Rhodes. Trevante Rhodes held his own. He did exactly what you would expect. He brought that intensity. He brought that sex appeal. He brought that lure of danger of the bad guy, and he played it with magnificence. He alone, to me, stood out, and I'm saying that no homo. But he's a solid actor. He knows he probably is the ideal actor that was stood out from in this particular movie. Overall, I gave it a 2.5 out of 5 stars because it's the kind of movie that I wouldn't watch again. Now that I've seen it, I wouldn't watch it again. And in fact, it also is strikingly similar to a 2014 movie called Addicted by a filmmaker called Billy Woodruff. If you haven't seen it, it starred Boris Kodjoe and Sharon Leal. Sharon Leal from the Dreamgirls movie. It had a very similar plot, very similar feel. And so, was this a little bit of stealing? It depends on how you look at it. There's many movies out there that take on the same themes. For God's sake, Liam Neeson has been making the same fucking movie over and over and over again. So you can't, I guess, get mad if a director sees a movie plot and says, "I'm going to change this, change that." So I'm not hung up on that. But this movie, Mia Culpa, is eerily similar to Addicted, that was released in 2014. So if you like Mia Culpa, go check out that movie as well. It's probably on Netflix as well. So anyway, folks, that is my overall take of Mia Culpa. 2.5 stars out of 5. I would not watch it again. It is not for men. I think Trevante Rose was the one standout performer in this particular movie. I like the fact that Kelly Rowland is stepping into the producer lane. She's trying to get a coin up. And so go ahead, sweetheart. I hope she gets better. It is a true Tyler Perry in every sense of the word. And so if you're a Tyler Perry fan, you'll probably like it. Me, myself, I could take it or leave it. Anyway, this is Lee Black, and I hope you enjoyed my review. And as always, I want to let you know that the opinions that I share, they belong to myself and myself alone. They do not necessarily should be subscribed to the TFG family, nor to the Real Talk for Real Men family. Continue to watch my content. Everybody enjoy the rest of your day. God bless.